Hard times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows, back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russen program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russen program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor at a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I did the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The weird, the strange, the bizarre. Way out fun, way out there. Another show coming soon on GJRB Online.
Is Blue. Classic. Paul Marriott as we get back into more of the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Back on the air here for a Tuesday. Glad you could be aboard with me. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we're going to keep on going. We're going to have a lot of interesting things going on in our news, and we're going to maybe share some more crazy jokes, too, be along the way as well. And we're going to go ahead and start early with something that I do quite often here on the program. When we kind of flip through the social sites. You know, that's what I do. I kind of flip through the social sites, kind of scroll through, and you know, find different things that people are posting. It's part of our show. It's kind of fun. I go through all the social sites that I'm hooked up to, including Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and other things. I just joined up with another one, too, and that's Instagram, which I don't know if I'm going to use that all that much. Might every once in a while, but I'm going to see if I can carry some of my shows on there. I doubt it. I'm going to see, at least maybe the audio portions, or my video version, the Gary Russen video show, which I'm going to talk to you here in a few minutes. It's where I play, it's a video version of this show where I play videos of interesting things that I talked about in recent shows. And I don't know, I might do that. I might take some of the Gary Russen video shows and put them on Instagram, and maybe it will get some audience that way, hoping so. But let's just see what happens. But it's just a place to be, and glad you could join me. And I'm Gary J. Russen here on GGRB Online here on Spreaker. And let's see if we could get that in there. I thought I had that already loaded, but maybe I didn't. Let's check a look. Let's see. Scroll through social media. Didn't I? I think I did. If I did, I probably have two of them now. Down at the bottom. Yeah, I do. Okay, I only need one. Okay, so let's do it now. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Now, scroll through social media.
Yeah, we're going to do that right now. That's usually where I visit some social site. We're going to go into this first, because we usually do it on social media. I've done it. So, yeah, now that's my GGB. You're done. No, I tried it for a couple of times to start a Facebook page for this station. And I don't know. I think I have to have a business to do that. I don't know. I've tried to do a Facebook page for this station, just for this station, but I never really worked out. I kept on, and it was not that I wasn't trying. It's just that a private person such as me be allowed to, have a Facebook page. Breaking news. That's why I always go on specific, because there's always news coming somehow. And breaking news from, let me see, what was that from? I think on the wrong page. I wanted this one. News from BYW. BYW. Bill Cosby, Brian Mughal officially requests permission to withdraw from the case. Be retrial. Yeah, I'm looking at that paper right now. He's requesting to pull from the case. He's quitting as Bill Cosby's lawyer. He's quitting. Brian J. Is it McMonagle? Is that what it is? McMonagle Esquire is requesting hereby that the honorable court pursue. And it just goes on to say that he's, I don't know, let's see if there's a reason for it. I guess he doesn't want to go through a trial with this guy again. To take a secure new counsel, but he's withdrawing in support thereof. So he doesn't really give a reason why he is withdrawing. He's saying he is withdrawing from being Bill Cosby's lawyer if and when he's going to withdraw because he feels that there could be a retrial on the Bill Cosby case. Not that James says the Bill Cosby case. He feels that there could be a retrial in the Bill Cosby case, so he's going to withdraw as his attorney. So wonder what he's going to... Oh boy, Bill Cosby's got to find himself another attorney because his attorney is withdrawal. So I'm wondering if he's Cosby's tea of everything that's being charged against him and what he might have done with these ladies. So you have to wonder, maybe perhaps there is a reason for him doing that. So we're going to get into that a little later on. We'll talk about that more. So we'll have that story coming up. He's withdrawing as Bill Cosby's attorney. Oh. Okay, tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to be taking a break here pretty soon because we're going to be going into the weather on the fives again. And we're going to take a look at some national temperatures again and see if it's been going up and up and up and up. So we're going to do that here right now and do another weather update. It's time for weather on the fives. Starting in Cookville, Oregon, you're under a heat advisory. Right now, you're at 82 degrees. It is 86 degrees in Chester, Maryland. 81 degrees in Miami, Florida. 94 in Phoenix, Arizona right now. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 83 degrees. Los Angeles is reporting in with 83. 86 degrees back home in Ambridge, PA. Mankato, Minnesota. You guys are at 84 right now. 80 degrees in Lake Tahoe, California. Madison, Wisconsin, it's 81 degrees right now. And we'll mention your area coming up next hour here on the Gary Russen program. So if you have an area, your area that you'd like to have mentioned, please give me a call and on the show, and I will see if we can set that up for you to get that. We'll have some weather for your area We'll take a look at some of the general areas, basically, this hour, coming up next hour, that are under that heat advisory out west, including some sections of Oregon and some sections of Idaho, Boise, and all that area. So we'll take a look at that coming up. Some of those areas are under a heat advisory, and right now, as I said about a half hour ago, there's some really bad wildfires going on in those areas, especially down in Oregon and through into a lot of areas affected in a lot of wildfires. So we're going to keep an eye on that too. A lot of wildfires, a lot of areas, and heat advisories in effect for you people listening in Oregon, all the way down the coast, all the way down the west coast, clear down to California, and pretty much parts of Arizona as well. So be aware of that. Weather on the fives at 55, 25, and 55 minutes past the hour on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. Yeah, on the fives, getting you in touch with what's going on in your weather on the Gary Russen program. Watch. Pray. For you not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pandemics, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. With a lot of chaos happening, keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB. America's Street Music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grassgolds, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle, with all the great songs you heard before, and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too. At a brand new time, every third Saturday at 12 noon Central on GJRB. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land. From America's land, this is GJRB. Okay, we'll do that again here in a few minutes. You got Gary Russen here with you on GJRB Online on Spreaker. It is now close to 3 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, 4 o'clock East, and it is now 1 o'clock Pacific. From America's land, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. GJRB News. I'm Gary J. Russen. Top of the news this hour. It looks like Bill Cosby is going to have to look for a different lawyer. According to his lawyer, McMogul, I believe his name is expected to quit because he's just going to back out in case of a retrial. Cosby's attorney, Brian McMogul, stated that he asked permission to withdraw from the case just in case of a retrial. Get ready for a spectacle in the sky later this month, August 21st. It is now 20 days until that event. A little less than that. In the first 99 years since this has happened, as it crosses the U.S. and the coast. In other news this afternoon, we'll have a story coming up this afternoon. We'll be talking about what Dianne Feinstein said. She said that if President Trump were to attempt to fire Robert Mueller, it would mark the beginning of the end of his presidency. Mueller was appointed after Trump fired James Comey, the FBI director. It is a task of moving forward in the FBI's investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 elections. This includes allegations that Trump's presidential campaign was in inappropriate contacts with Russian officials. And it states that they can't be, that the Attorney General, I believe it is the only one allowed to fire him. The command in the White House continues. The fighting in the White House, we're going to talk about that this hour. And, of course, your opinions on the GJRB here on GJRB. Gary J. Russen, this is GJRB News.
America's Street Music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grass Goals, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle, with all the great songs you heard before, and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too. At a brand new time, every third Saturday at 12 noon Central on GJRB.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. We'll have more news coming up throughout the afternoon here on GJRB Online as we go through the GJRB Gary Russen program. We'll scroll through social media to get you some latest updates in some of the news that's going on across the nation. And our GJRB Online. A lot of wildfires going on in the, and we have that going on. We'll talk about that. Also in the news, we'll have stories late breaking from postings that you post on the GJRB Spreaker public site. So keep it here on GJRB for all the stories. We've got some interesting ones locally and nationally. Palestine received more money now that they let's try it again. Horrible. Palestinians now receiving more money, and now they can murder Jewish people, according to a report from CBN. And we'll have that one coming up a little later on in the news as well. Also, we're going to have all these stories all throughout the afternoon. Stories making news that we could talk about on GJRB's original news talk program. The Gary Russen program continues next. I'm Gary J. Russen at the GJRB News Desk.
Watch, pray, for we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pest, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, end-time headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. Next news at the bottom of the hour. Get praised, you're recovered and informed. Now let's continue to talk with the Gary Russen program.
Oh yeah, off the chain, one of my favorite R&B smooth jazz lists. And welcome back to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And this is our Tuesday edition of the Gary Russen program. We open up it for you to talk about what you want to talk about here on GJRB Online. And later on down the line, I don't know if you'll get a chance to really stick explicit on there until later on, but some of your listeners will know that we need to get the young ones out of the room when I play this a little later on. I'm going to play a piece by a woman named Dana Loesch. Now, she was introduced to me, and I've heard her before, I think, a few times, by a friend of mine named Stephen Mucha, a good friend of mine from Pennsylvania, who went to high school with me. And he is kind of irritated by the leftist, liberal, mediocre stuff. Too. I mean, he does. He kind of gets. He doesn't like all this leftist stuff, and he just kind of tells it like it is. And I tell you what, I agree with him on a lot of things. And he introduced it. Now, last week, I was talking to him on Facebook, and I have another friend of mine I went to high school with, and I never really knew his political stance pretty much through our high school, because we never really, in those days, we really were kids. We didn't really get political on things, really. But now he is beginning to irritate me because, well, not irritate me. It's just that I'm trying to understand why he sticks up. Now, he's got a family. I can understand a family who apparently are Muslim, okay? But here's the situation. He claims that the Muslims, a lot of them, are peaceful. That there are some Muslims who are, pretty much live their daily lives, and maybe so. I'm not saying that's not true. But here's the situation as I see it here, okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because I feel that the whole thing with this whole thing with the Muslims, he went and so far has called me a racist. He called me that. He says I'm a racist because I feel that all Muslims are the same and that they are terrorists. They would rather kill you than just as soon look at you. I'm not saying, I'm just saying it's wrong. I mean, I've been sitting and rethinking this whole thing myself, okay? But in the long run, here we go, okay? I have a doctor who is apparently Muslim, I believe. His name is Rashid. He is the one that found my heart condition and found out that I had 99% blockage in my main artery. Good doctor. He's more than likely Muslim. A peaceful doctor. He helped me with this situation. There are exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying there isn't. But on the other hand, we have Muslims who are radical. I see more of them than I ever see any peaceful Muslims. I'm sure there are. I'm not saying there isn't. He wants me to go down and talk to a imam, go down to a mosque. And I kind of fear that because I don't trust a majority of these Muslims, okay? I don't know about going down there to a mosque. And I don't know. I mean, I could. I mean, I thought that'd be a great exercise actually for this show, is to, take my voice recorder when I get another one, maybe when I get another one, or my tablet, and go down to the mosque down there and set up an interview and interview one just to see what their views are and what they believe in and stuff. Because I believe that there just saw a headline, I think it was on Facebook about some Muslims who did find recently. There's a bunch of them. I don't know if I found the article, whether or not I even saved it, which I should have done. It shows that there's an article sitting there saying that the Muslim somewhere with a possibility. I'm not saying that there isn't. Now, I've gone to God with this. As a matter of fact, I still am doing that from time to time, asking why I have so much hate for this group. Why is it that that I have such animosity toward Muslims? And there is that it's not. It is the radicals. It's the ones who are forcing down my throat Muslim religion. It's the ones who are forcing it down your throat. That, they look what they do. Look what they would do. They want to force Sharia law on the United States of America. Okay, they want to force Sharia law. They want Sharia law. Okay, and quite frankly, I gotta tell you, I don't like what Sharia law says. Sharia law says it's okay for a man to, an old man, to marry someone who is virtually a kid. Okay? An old man can marry a child. Rape is allowed. Sodomy is allowed. They can do whatever they want. And that's against the American laws. See, Sharia law does not belong in the United States of America. It does not belong here. That belongs in a country such as Afghanistan, Pakistan, all those countries that. Now look at England. England right now is getting forced to follow Sharia law. They have been inundated with Muslims lately. But in England, they've been inundated with Muslims lately. Now my concern is whether or not they can do that here, because see, they are threatening. They made a threat to turn this country into a Sharia law. They planned on making. They have pictures. It really fumes me, and I don't know who does this. They put it on Facebook consistently, showing America as a Muslim country. They dress the Statue of Liberty in a burqa. And see, this is what really turns my stomach. Seriously, it does. I hate looking at that picture. Because this is the United States of America, and you have no right to take it over and turn our country, the United States of America, into a Muslim nation. You do have no right whatsoever. You don't belong here. You haven't belonged here since 1952. So no, you're not going to be taking over this country. And Donald Trump, this is the reason why I want him to remain in office. Because, well, let's just put it this way. Okay, he'll remain in office, but let's say Donald Trump remains in office. We'll put it that way. Donald Trump will remain in office. He'll remain a president. He'll remain in office. But here's the deal. This is what I think. Okay? Donald Trump will remain in office because, and I think he should stay there, because he will prevent any Muslims from coming over here and turning this country into an Islamic nation. He'll stop it. Mike Pence will too. Mike Pence could probably, turn him over to Jesus Christ and make them Christians, but Mike Pence could do it too. So, yeah, either the two. And really, to be honest with you, we've said it before, and I've said it, and my friend Brian even said it. It would have been better if it would have been switched on, and Donald Trump was the vice president, and Mike Pence would have been the president. Because I think if Mike Pence would have been the president of the United States, we wouldn't have this radical bull that's going on over there. We wouldn't have all this fighting going on consistently like it's going on right now in the White House. What's going on with this? I just, I've had enough of it. Rush Limbaugh's right. Aren't we just sick and tired of hearing all this battling going on in the White House? When does this stop? When does this end? But, like I said before, it's just I have nothing against the Muslims, okay? Quite frankly, in my opinion, I'm sorry I ever call them. I've called them cockroaches. I've called them everything in the book. Because they're forcing their religion down my throat. And pretty much I call them that. Okay? I've done that because I'm control, and I'm controlled by a religion that all those false gods. That's what that religion is. It's a false religion. And quite frankly, I don't want a false religion. That's definite. Forget. They ain't having it in this book, friends. It's not. You're not going to. I'm not following no shit wrong. Not ever. Anyway, my friend, my so-called friend, I still consider him a friend, but I'm not really happy with Bill. You are. You called me a racist, and you brought me down, and everything else because okay. But, if you continue to bring me down, bring down the Cubs, bring down everything, what friend are you? You used to be a long, long time ago back in high school. And now, I don't know what happened. So, I don't know. I'm on the verge of unfriending you, but, well, let's see what happens. I was not too happy with him. My friend Stephen Lucha was happy with him. And we were talking, and he found these videos that are going on around Facebook. Her name is Dana Loesch, and she is a really outspoken person on the godless left. She talks about it, and quite frankly, we're gonna be taking a break here pretty soon for another half-hour hard break. But when I come back, I'll play that for you. We're going to be here for about maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And I will play that for you. And see what you think. And see what your opinion is on it. The Godless Left. And we'll play Dana Loesch coming up in the next half hour here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. I'm Gary J. Russen. This is the Gary Russen program. You can be part of the show, and all you got to do is drop in, say hi. Also, if you follow me on Facebook, you can call me on Messenger. If you follow me on Facebook, you can do that. Listeners who may be listening, I haven't really checked my Facebook public site lately, so I'm going to go in there and see if there's anybody on listening at all. Which I'm going to check here in a minute. I'm going to see if there's any listeners signing in here. I want to check and see if there's listeners live on any of my episodes. 2 listeners on... No, that was my sports page. Okay, never mind. No listeners on either of the first 2 parts of the Gary Russen program today. So I'm hoping that we get that changed throughout the afternoon today. That maybe we get some listeners on this program this afternoon. The Gary Russen program on GGRB Online on Spreaker across America. Please do come on in and join me in the program and get your opinions on that. And like I said before, if you follow me on Facebook or would like to, remember, if you're going to do that, let me know who you are, where you're from, and most importantly, let me know that you listen to GJRB. I know I'm getting a lot of females I don't know, asking for friend requests, and I usually ignore that because some people tell me that is linked to a virus. So I never accept too many. I don't accept friend requests unless I really know the person, and I'm one of those that believe in that. So what I'm going to do is, if you are a listener to the program and you are following me on Facebook, you can call me on the JRB Online here on the Gary Russen program on the Messenger. And it will go through the speaker system and it will go on the air. So you'll be on the air with me. and you could talk about this whole bit with what's going on. And we're going to leave it open, and we're going to come after the break, and we're going to start 45 minutes of nonstop talk, complete, 45 minutes complete, nonstop talk on our last hour of the Gary Russen program, going into the last hour of the Gary Russen program, nonstop talk. And we're going to leave it open. I'll scroll through all the social medias, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on across America. And all that coming up next here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. And this is where we do the program, and glad you could be aboard with me today to do the program here, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online here on Spreaker today. So we're going to be taking a program break, and I'll be coming back with more of the Gary Russen program. And do another scroll through social media and see if there's any late-breaking headlines. And I follow Fox News Radio online live, and it got a story here. After 17 years in the country, the Ohio mom, four faces, deported today because she was an illegal immigrant. The mother was caught driving without a license, and then left. And the left is saying cold-hearted to break up families. But November approved voters clearly want our laws to be enforced. Should this mom be sent back to Mexico? We're going to have that. That's the question they're asking on Fox News Radio today. So we're going to get some opinions. That's a live feed, and we'll see what you think about that one. And another story coming up, House divided. Coast Guard to defy transgender ban. So the Coast Guard wants to defy transgender ban. So we'll talk about that. And a lot more coming up next half hour of the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. So stay with me all day. We'll take calls and we'll have some fun here on the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. And happy you could join us today for the best in internet talk radio, GJRB Online on Spreaker. And this is where it all happens. And happy you to be with me today. And be on the program. Join me this afternoon here on GJRB Online. So we're going to be getting ready to do weather on the fives here in just a few minutes. And then we're going to take a promo break and a little spot break locally on our 9-foot local signal. And then be right back with more of the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, the Tuesday edition of the Gary Russen program. And also we're going to talk about some other stuff coming up next hour. So stay here for that here on GJRB Online. Here on Spreaker.
You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon.
If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming.
And programming in other great music formats.
Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy.
From the GJR News Desk, I'm Gary J. Russen. Here's some of the stories we're covering for you in this hour of news. Top of the hour, it looks like the Coast Guard wants to challenge Donald Trump's transgender rule. We got that coming up for you. Also, in this afternoon, those are the big stories that we're covering for you. Social Security benefits set to increase by a large amount in the next couple of years. Also, a man who's got his opinion saying, I think that racism is another excuse like Russia to make Hillary doesn't accept the responsibility for looting. That's a comment from Fareed Zakara on 5. We'll talk about that. And a preacher claims Jesus' father and his son lives in a bunker. How that story all coming up next on GJRB.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J. Sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J. Sports page. Join me for Sports Page at a brand new time, alternating Saturdays at noon on GJRB.
And we're back on the air here on GJRB Online. We're going to be taking a break here real soon. We're going to be back on the air for another edition. We're enjoying the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online, and you can be part of the program and talk to me about what you feel is going on in the news, what's bugging you, what's kind of yanking your chain. Just thought kind of like get off my chain. No, wait a minute, that was a Rolling Stone. No. Get off my cloud. Anyway, that's going to end this next half hour. Coming up, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Got more of the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online, and we're going to have our non-stop talk coming up. So stay with me. With you with Gary Russen program soon here on GJRB. Be right back.